Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. We're back for a match reaction. England 6, yes, 6. Iran 2. We have kicked off our Qatar 2022 World Cup campaign in style by beating Iran 6-2. We had worries last night, Sean, of perhaps it not being convincing. Well, I think that was pretty convincing.
Yeah, it was. I think we said last night they like setting up the low block Iran, and I think I don't know what minute the goal went in. I got a bit confused with the injury time, to be honest. But
it was crazy.
Yeah, it went in reasonably early enough for us, didn't it? So I think once you score early against a team that are their main priority is to keep it tight and not let one in.
Yeah,
then they're going to be a bit more open. So that played in our hands. How easy it looked. I think for about 20 minutes in the second half, as it went on towards the end, it was like almost walking pace of keeping the ball. It got a bit embarrassing quite quickly, I thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think on the hour mark on the scoreboard, obviously all the stoppage time was messed up. But I think Iran had completed 83 passes in an hour's football, which which completely baffled me. And you know, they had their injury to their keeper, and you could tell that they were trying to prolong that out as long as possible. And they did manage to get it out over 11 or 12 minutes in the end, and then came the 35th minute. I mean, to be fair, we had some chances before that. There was the Harry Maguire rugby tackle in the first minute, and then Harry Maguire hit the bar from a corner. But then we did open the scoring with Jude Bellingham on the 35th minute. Deserved, I thought. Sure.
Yeah, I think what is nice about this, really, in years ago, we did tend to struggle against teams or just get over the line. And I thought being a convincing win, well, I'm going to call it a convincing win. I'm 100% happy with it. But a good win when we probably took our foot off the pedal a bit.
Yeah.
I think we've got to be happy with it, really.
Yeah, we'll talk about we'll talk about the lineup and everything else in just a second. See, we've got the Trad Detectives FC. Hello, hope you are well. Hammerhead, hope you well, mate. Rice needs to be used for West Ham. How England use it more holding and defensive. Afternoon, chaps. Southgate out, says James. Hammerhead says, for the sake of the team, West Ham, Rice has to be told to hold and stay back. I agree. I do agree. Southgate needs more time to take this SC, especially because we just won 6-2. I mean, the whole idea that this and even, you know, I thought the kind of massive stoppage might have you know, affected us and sort of stopped us in our tracks, but we just continue to dominate, and I thought, and I personally was impressed with how we dealt with it. It was a potential banana skin which we diverted and we didn't get into. Obviously the lineup we all nailed on a back five last night, and then you tagged me into it last night. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen, and then it did happen. I mean, we won, so you can't really have too many complaints with the lineup. He didn't go fully defensive. We had a bit of a go. Mount in midfield didn't surprise me to pack it in with a midfield three. And yeah, Saka, Foden, Saka scored 2 in the end, so you can't really have many complaints with that. Sterling scored as well, and Harry Kane was, of course, an obvious pick. We won, so you can't have too many complaints about that lineup, I think, Sean.
No, I think it got leaked right around. A lot of journalists were saying the team last night. I think it was spot on who he went for. Maybe he looked at Iran and thought they play very, very defensive. Maybe he looked at that and thought about it that way. Putting the Mount in an extra midfielder. He probably thought we don't need an extra centre back, even though I thought there was 3 or 4 moments where I thought, blimey, we still need another centre half against Iran. Yeah, I think look, the front five, as you could call it, say the 2 centre midfielders and the front 3, I thought worked very well together. Obviously, Mount as well. So yeah, the front 6 you'd call it, wouldn't you? Worked very well together. Rice did what he had to do. In fact, he thought he went a bit to sleep a few times. Gave the ball away. Sometimes when it's easy, you can go to sleep, and I think he did that a couple of times. Don't know if you remember. He sort of just got caught on the ball a little bit. But yeah, going forward, I think Mount did enough, but yeah, the front 3 look very much like we said last night about the danger of if Kane drops in, We haven't got much strength and height going in the box, but we seem to have that. Like Kane dropped and picked the ball up, great ball in for Sterling's goal. He dropped deep, chested it down like a good hold-up man, sprayed it and put Rashford in when he come on. So that sort of routine, which we're probably used to seeing Kane do in the Premier League a bit more, clicked. Do you know what I mean? If a Kane drops, it's automatically going to give the space for like a Saka, Sterling. That sort of tactic did work, and I think we're used to seeing that in the more club level with Kane. Bellingham obviously deserves all the plaudits, but so yeah, we did what no one expected 6 goals. Not to pretend we did, but in the back of our mind, we're thinking if we got any chance of doing anything in this World Cup, we got to be beating this team reasonably easy, and I suppose that's what we did in the end of the day.
Yeah. There were a couple of moments of obviously their 2 goals, and there were a couple of other moments where we looked weak at the back. I didn't. I think I just about caught their first goal, but the history teacher wasn't having any of it when we went on, so I didn't see the end. I'm not quite sure what happened at the end, but I saw VAR and a penalty. What happened there, Sean?
Well, their first goal, I don't know. Maguire, they said he's got blurred vision, and I'm not sure why he's got it, or I don't remember him getting knocked on the head or anything like that. But they sort of had the ball out on the wing a little bit, and they're forward. I think it must have been a forward midfielder. I don't know who he was. He had the most basic of movement to get behind Maguire, and I don't know whether it being blamed as blurred vision or not, but it did look appalling by Maguire. Do you know what I mean? It was typical flat-footed Maguire. But yeah, he has to come off straight after. So we'll give him the benefit of doubt. But we said last night, didn't we? Like, this is Iran. These are probably championship level players at best, a lot of them. Little bit of movement behind Maguire and he's in goal. Just before the penalty decision, did you not even see the penalty decision?
No. I haven't had a chance to see it.
I think we're going to see in this World Cup a lot of iffy decisions depending on how games are going. I don't mind a little conspiracy. The foul, if you call it that, he had a bit of his shirt in his hand, right? It was not even remotely close to the level of Maguire. What happened with him being like almost rugby tackled and grappled? It was a tiny little handful. It wasn't preventing a goal, or it wasn't even preventing a chance. The ball went about 2 foot over the player going for it. I think Gary Lineker summed it up. I think it's in Asia. It was an Asian team. They're getting thumped 6-1. It's something like the 111th minute or whatever stupid it was.
Yeah.
If it wasn't those situations, Gary Lineker even said he doesn't even think the referee thought it was a penalty. But do you know what I mean? We might see these silly little gimmicky sort of decisions. You know what I mean?
Luckily, obviously nothing came of it because we were 6-1, 6-5-1 up at the time. So it didn't particularly matter. But yeah, I do think we're going to see quite a few of these, dodgy decisions, and
hopefully
all know
we don't see them when the games are tight and they're meaning something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But that's by that game. But a little bit more concern for me was about 5 minutes before John Stone was out of position, and their player went clean through again. When I say clean through, he hasn't run 30 yards. We're caught out of position, like on the edge of our box.
Yeah,
that's not good enough against any team. And John Stone's out of position. He was in because we've only got 2 centre halves there, and they're so spread apart. He then went clean through. It took a brilliant save by Pickford to tip it onto the bar. Do you know what I mean? And then 5 minutes later.
Do you think this might have kind of consolidated why Southgate might need a back 5?
Yeah, it does. But one thing I liked the most about the whole game day was afterwards in the interviews, to be honest. Southgate, Trippier, Bellingham, they're all a bit peed off, to be honest. And I like that a lot. I do like that. They know everything I'm saying. They sit here and agree with every single word. Do you know what I mean? And that is a good attitude to have. They don't see that as acceptable, being that sloppy against it. I know we said last night Iran are in the top 20 in the world, but they're not. Do you know what I mean? If you qualify from the Asian qualifying group, the only team you've got to try and beat is South Korea, really. Yeah, so I'm glad they're annoyed, and they should be annoyed because it was sloppy. And Jermaine Jenas, who was doing me head in, he should stick with daytime TV, same as Dion Dublin in yesterday's game. It's almost like BBC. Everyone's moaned for years how much BBC waste on giving like radio DJs money. It's like they thought, right, how can we spread the TV hosts on the sport? Because even is it Alex Scott, the female? She presents a game show now.
She does.
So we're now spreading out all the sports sort of pundits, all the Z-list pundits. They're going into daytime TV, and now it's the World Cup. We're dragging them back out. They're hard to listen. I'm not a fan of listening to them, and Jenna's kept banging the drum. Oh, we got. I get it. Oh, we got all these attacking players. We got to go for it. It doesn't suit us playing defensive. I get it, but then when you see Iran, just the most basic of movement, and our two centre halves are lost. It is alarming. It is alarming.
It's we have one. If you just look at it, 6-2, perfect, done. But there is some alarming worries there that we will get punished on a bigger scale if we do come up against some better sides. So we need to sort that out, and that's why I think that he will go to a back five, and I don't think anybody can query that. Hammerhead says Netherlands versus Senegal, a good game so far. Two says Hammerhead. Watch out, we might have watch long coming your way for the Wales USA game a little bit later on. So make sure you've got the notification bell on to see whether we do that or not. It's in the pipeline currently, but overall thoughts then, Sean. Got the job done. It's not wasn't fantastic. We dominated possession. We dominated most things in it, but yeah, just a couple of sloppy moments let us down, I thought.
Yeah, like I said, we got the job done. It scored some good goals. We haven't always done that. I'll revert back to the Roy Hodgson days. We're struggling to get a shot on target versus Iceland. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm glad they're annoyed. We can't. It's easy chances, easy goals they had. They weren't. They don't even think. You don't see that bad defending on a Sunday morning half the time. So,
yeah,
I think against USA, he's going to be in two minds, I think, because we have looked good going forward, although they were massively on the rack after we scored on half an hour. Yeah. It's a tricky one. The judge, as a fan, we'll enjoy it. We got to enjoy it. We like to cheer a goal. Not too dissimilar to Panama in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
I think that was 6-1, I think it was. Yes, we got to enjoy it. USA game, might watch him later tonight if I can find the time, but he's got a bit of thinking to do, because he might stick with the back four again because we've obviously won.
Yeah,
I don't know what the crack is in Maguire with his blurred vision. You might not see him, so he brought Eric Dyer on. I think Eric Dyer is a far better centre half than a free.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it tells you exactly who Southgate's favourite centre backs are straight away. Do you know what I mean? So the likes of Cody, Ben White. Is there another one? Walker's injured, obviously.
Cody in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
I would in the next two games expect some rotation for sure. There'll be some different players involved, attacking wise and probably defensively. Ben White will probably get a look in at right back at some point. Trent maybe.
I think he said one of the same journalist that announced the team last night said what we thought, that you'd probably see more rotation in the group stages in this World Cup than you have in the past World Cups. Am I right in saying that we can make 6 subs as well? Is that right?
Is it 5 or 6? I'm not sure.
I'm sure I was watching it, and I sort of games like this, you can switch off a little bit, can't you? But can go like a bit of a pre-season friendly towards the end. But I'm sure the TV said that's the 6th sub. Iran have used their 6th sub.
Was the first goalkeeper one concussion or something? Because it was a head or nose,
and that was a farce as well. Don't know if you caught that. Like that shows you how different organisations, different competitions, how the rules and the laws just vary so much.
But the thing that But the thing that annoyed me, sort of cutting, but the thing that annoyed me there was he went down, with his own flipping geezer. They could have just got him off and got another one on. Look, let's just precaution. But then he was led down for 5 minutes. They got the flipping stretcher on, and he said, "Yeah, I'm all right." So the stretcher went back off again.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, he took a goal kick, and he's down again. It's your nose, mate. It's not like you just pulled your hamstring. You either get off straight away or you carry on. And it took that took 12 minutes. 12 minutes of my lunchtime that took up.
Yeah, I was actually glad that happened because I was at work, so I managed to see more of the game because it's delayed. But I think that just sums up how FIFA meant to be the biggest organisation in the world are so far behind with their rules and regulations. Because in the Premier League, and rightly so, that's not up to the goalkeeper if he's going to carry on. The doctor will have a look at him. He'll tell you if he's got concussion, if he's bleeding and it's too much. The doctor makes a decision, and they clearly didn't in that game. It was left up to the player, like it was a Sunday morning game. So it just shows you the biggest organisation in the world just so behind the times, and it's alarming when you watch it. But yeah, well, you don't expect nothing else. A bit like the Panama game, the last World Cup. I can remember we were having corners and they were almost rugby tackling our players to the ground, and I was thinking, does this still go on in football? It's just, so sometimes the World Cup's a bit like the Olympics when you see these swimmers from like Cambodia or something that do it like swim it probably slower than what we could. You get these little funny moments in the big events because we're not used to seeing certain sports all around the world, and when you see how they do it differently, it's like
that was certainly strange. Take some comments. James says, I fully expect Wales to leak some goals. 3-2 Wales, says Hammerhead. 5 subs, 1 concussion sub, says Hammerhead. There we go. 7 p.m. kickoff time. Van Dijk looks tired, says
we've said before, he's looked tired all season.
Yeah, he has.
He looked leggy in one of the first games of the season. That would come as no shock that he does that. I'm a bit gutted that Memphis Depay's not started because he's one of my each way.
Oh, damn it! You had him, didn't you, Sean? You were like Memphis Depay.
Well, they've gone. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've gone with the 2 former Tottenham strikers up front.
I say
one of which you said you probably wouldn't. Some people said he wouldn't take it. West Ham, who would have been an outstanding signing.
Who's that?
Bergwijn. He'd have been a quality signing.
Would he? Okay.
He would have. He would have very good. He wouldn't have been injured like the other lot.
Well, yeah, and he got a bit of pace, which we need. But yeah, Doctor.
Not that he'd have gone there, mine, but he'd have been a good signing.
Oh, keep going. Dr. Genius and his medical associate's 15-minute running commentary of the concussion was hideous. Yeah, the good thing was because we were in the classroom at lunchtime, we were all just talking, so we had Jermaine Genius turned off. Thank God for that. All the Liverpool players look drained. Well, there we go. Right, and so just a quick summary then. Bellingham, machine. I thought Rice looked good defensively. There's big holes there that need addressing. Attacking wise, no issues. Scored 6. Defensively, a little bit iffy. Sean, final thoughts?
Yeah, I think you've summed it up, mate. I think Southgate will be looking at it. He's not daft. His mind probably does lean towards defensive a little bit more on attack. So he'll probably be looking at those negatives even more than what me and you might be. Yeah. So again, I'm sure we'll chat before the USA game, but going that far ahead, I think he might go with a back 4 still, but he might just play a little bit more cautious in the middle, in front of them. What I did notice as well, final thought, is all the subs, he didn't give Rice or Bellingham a rest either. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And I'm not sure Rice is one of the fitter of our players, not because he's unfit, because I don't know if his body can hack it that much as some. But Bellingham was just a kid. Maybe we don't want to have the attitude that we'll just play him and play him and play him and play him. Do you know what I mean?
I think they're both machines, you know. Obviously Fatigue will come in. What's Rice 23? Bellingham's 19. I think they'll be okay. What is it? It's a Monday, Friday turnaround, and obviously Rice does Thursday, Sunday. But in the Premier League. So and to be fair, that wasn't much more than a training game, especially in the second half at times.
The concern, with Rice, quite often in that conference this year, you've left him behind, haven't you? He hasn't even been on the bench for a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I think we said when we announced the squad that we looked a little bit light in centre midfield. I think that's more my point. So you've got Phillips, who probably still limping. You've got Henderson. You've got Henderson, who he could have done quarter of an hour at the end, no problem at all.
Oh, I agree.
But if we have a game where we need a centre midfielder, then I'm thinking,
he's not the answer, is he?
No, we haven't really got the option. So I don't know. Maybe this was the game where you hooked Rice off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Give Henderson 20 minutes. Look, we did the right thing with Kane. I thought Kane had a good game, but I don't know if you noticed when they got their one goal. I don't know if you were around watching then.
Yeah.
Wilson was about to come on before he scored it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And as soon as they scored it, he was like, no chance. He's not even going to take the slight. And I get that, but yeah, Callum Wilson, I would have had a shot at the end, but fair play to him for squaring it.
Yeah, fair play to him.
But yeah, we got to manage our star players and manage our game winners through this. And we've probably, even though Saka was good today, although both goals are deflected, don't take it off him. We haven't got many big game winners, and we need to just protect them just in case. They got but dirty, and Kane was hacked down there, and if his ankle gone, it can happen. So we do need to just look after him. A bit of luck. We've got another 3 weeks of this to go at least. So
for sure. Yeah. There was a bit of crikey between all of us when Kane went down, because we're like, yeah, we do not want that. Let's take our last few comments. Final question to you then, Sean. Do you think Rice gave the ball away cheaply at times? From what I saw, yeah. At times I thought he gave it away a little bit cheaply, but I thought he progressed quite well, especially in the first half. What we saw of it as well, you know, a couple of nice sprayed balls out to the wing. But yeah, he does give the ball away cheaply at times, but I don't think he'd have that bad of a game.
Rice, Jake, I think I've noticed him do it a little bit for your lot as well. He gives it away when I think maybe when it's a tight situation, he tries to have too many touches. And I've noticed he's one of them players, when he has a touch, when he thinks a player's getting close, he tends to try and use his body to lean in a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's better backing himself and switching it, because he's got a flipping good long ball on him, and 9.5 times out of 10 it will reach Creswell or Soufal out on those sides. So I think he just needs to back himself in that sense a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. I think he got caught a few times when it was all a bit tight, and I don't know whether maybe he wants to try and do a bit too much when it's all players are around. I don't know.
Yeah,
he didn't have a bad game. It's just
no.
We're trying not to pick fault, but I am trying to pick fault, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we know we've got bigger games to come.
Yeah.
So we can't have our holding midfielder giving the ball away cheaply, and two centre backs who get turned very easily. Do you know what I mean? If that happens, then we're going to let 2-3 in against a good. Well, we let 2 in today, but we're not going to get 2. We're not going to get 6 in return, are we, against a good side?
Yeah. James's Bellingham was the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. Yeah, he was very good. He looked very good, that's for sure. But there we go. Right then, hopefully we'll catch you back right here in West Ham Unofficial for the USA Wales game. Sean, are you going to be joining us a little bit later on? Probably not tonight, mate. I'm going to watch bits and bobs of the group stage, if I'm honest. Obviously, watch the big games, and I don't call Wales a big game, but they're in our group. You should be scouting, writing it all down, Sean. Don't need to scout, mate. Keep an eye on the 2 American lads who play for the Leeds. I think they're the ones probably to watch out. Good stuff. Luke, you've came in right at the end, but thank you very much. Cheers, Hammerhead, James, and everybody else in the chat. Sean, thank you very much indeed. No worries, mate. That's it for a bit. 1 game, 1 win, a +4 goal difference. Thank you very much indeed. And we'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Qatar 2022 right here on West Ham Unofficial is the place to be. Watch alongs for the rest of the England games. Stay locked in here, and that's it from us. Come on, England, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.